Sagittarius, it's October 2020, and of all of the star signs, really the position of your ruler, Jupiter, next to Pluto here, indicates the powerful transformation you've been going through in this past year or so. I'm Didici, by the way, from astrology.com.au. For those of you that are new, welcome. I'm going to animate the chart just so you can see exactly what's happening, and I'm going to continue the thread of this transformational process by talking about the immediate full moon that takes place here in your fifth house, near your fifth ruler, Mars, which is retrograde, on the 2nd. This is very, very important. Believe it or not, the fifth house has to do with your past karma. So there's a lot of stuff there, because the planet Mars is a beneficial planet for you, ruling the fifth house, past karma. This is a time when all of that work you've been doing on yourself is going to start to pay off now. That fifth house, which is your creativity, don't worry that there's a retrogression there of this planet. That planet there is going to operate well for you and give you greater opportunity, greater power in terms of connecting with your inner self, your inner child, and that creative component. Now, it's important to also talk about this second house, where we've had all of these three planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, all retrograde for many, many months this year. That's now, as you can see, clear. And as Jupiter moves past this close conjunction, firstly to Pluto, that's going to intensify this transformation, especially in the area of your money, especially in the area of what you consider to be of value. And then Saturn, which for you is also the planet relating to finances, contracts, and the way you communicate. So that's going to continue until Jupiter passes these two planets, I think around second week of December. So it looks like it's going to be a nice Christmas for you. In the meantime, you have to be a little bit careful, and that's shown by this retrograde Mercury, which takes place. You'll see it goes stationary on the 14th, and then it goes retrograde. There it is on the 13th. I'm one day ahead of myself. And it stays apparently stationary and then makes its movement retrograde. That's particularly important because it has to do with your expenses. Just let me jump over here to the moon, making contact with Venus in your 10th house. This placement of Venus is a bit of a problem. It's a planet of debt. It's also the planet that relates to your working life. Here we see the new moon on the 17th. There it is, casting its influence back down here on Mars. And that shows you may have some new ideas or new contacts that can help you break the back of this difficult transit of Venus. Venus here shows enemies, and it shows that either, number one, the people you're working with are maybe not enemies per se, but acting in an inimical way, in a way that's obstructive, or the work you're doing is you yourself being inimical to yourself. In other words, part of this transformational process that I'm seeing here for you has to do with clearly defining what it is you want to do during this period. I don't think that's going to happen fully until your ruler, Jupiter, moves past these conjunctions by the second week of December. You will have some insights here. See the blue lines here? These are the favorable aspects of the moon to this planet Venus, which is relating to all of these inimical facts that I'm talking about. That's a time for you to make peace, not war, both with the people you work with and with yourself. The retrograde Mercury is joined by the transit of the Sun here into the 12th house. That's interesting, but I haven't talked much about Mercury ruling your career, but also ruling your relationships. And being in the 12th house, that's a very, very reflective house. When the Sun transits this 12th house of the horoscope, it shows a deeper approach to things, a more spiritual perspective. Notice Mercury moves back into the 11th house of friendship, along with Venus, the planet of love, moving out of that difficult Virgo sign. Virgo's not its worst position, moving into one of its best positions, Libra. So these two planets here towards the end of the month make their contact here in the social zone of your horoscope. That means making friends again with your lover or your partner, and also redefining that part of your life. It's a big month for you. I'd love to share some more by directing you to astrology.com.au, where we have the daily, weekly, monthly and yearly readings for you. You can subscribe here, drop me a line if you'd like a more personal reading, and then we can really get down to the detailed analysis of your personal horoscope. Till next month, take care. Look forward to your company again. Bye-bye.